Well, Neil, I know it's a very liberal philosophy, but I don't think the American people want to be told that we're going to raise your taxes and maybe we won't use them, but we're going to raise them anyway. The most important event today, Neil, was that Mr. Elmendorf, who is the head of the Congressional Budget Office, made a very strong statement today, I think, that's going to affect this debate. And I'd just like to quote it. He said that the legislation does not have the sort of fundamental changes that would be necessary to reduce the trajectory of federal health spending by a significant amount. And then he goes on to say, on the contrary, the legislation significantly expands the federal responsibility for health care costs. Now, that is the objective assessment by the Congressional Budget Office, and it contradicts all of the things that the Democrats have been saying. Fact is, there is no cost-saving measures in this bill.
All right, so if the CBO is right, and the CBO also recently said some of these outer costs are more like $1.5 to $2 trillion. I think they stuck with the $1.5 trillion figure, but it could conceivably get to $2 trillion. So that this thing is.
And it also.
Go ahead.
And it also leaves 33 million Americans uninsured, according to CBO. And again,
so where is
no
this going then,
measures.
Senator? Where do you think right now this stands?
I'm not sure, because they have 60 votes here in the Senate, I would guess. Certainly, depending on the health of a couple of the members, they have an overwhelming majority in the House of Representatives. So I don't know. The president has reiterated time and again his commitment to getting through before the recess. Look, this thing is like a fish in the sun. If you leave it out there very long, it's going to begin to smell very, very badly to the American people. That's why they're in such a rush to fundamentally affect 1/6 of our gross national product.
Let me ask you, though, when Nancy Pelosi indicated that, yeah, we might be able to realize these savings enough to compensate for the tax hikes we're proposing up front to pay for all of this, and just channeling that money into deficit relief, that's not how this game started. So obviously someone has changed the lockbox or just taken the key. We've played this game before, haven't we?
Look, you can't make it up. We already have a $1.1 trillion deficit. We will have $1.8 trillion deficit, the largest in peacetime history, staring us in the face. And then this is well over $1 trillion, and some say it's as high as 2 or 3. Look, we just passed a measure that was called something like the community, I've got the exact name for it, which basically characterized to improve the nation's health infrastructure, playgrounds, bike paths, etc. And somebody's going to say that's an exaggeration, but Senator Kennedy, this is $80 billion, by the way, Senator Kennedy's spokesperson said, these are not public grants, they are community transformation grants. And he says, if improving the lighting in a playground, or clearing a walking path or a bike path, or restoring a park are determined as needed by a community to create more opportunities for physical activity, we should not prohibit this from happening. What happened to the $780 billion stimulus bill?
Well, are they nice bike paths?
I'm sure they're nice. So now, it will be a huge earmarked pork barrel program.
But all of it, you're right. They're in the majority, though. They're probably going to be able to get their way. And we have right now the president in New Jersey with John Corzine, who's in a heap of political trouble here, very much down in the polls, and he's trying to shore up support for him. Because New Jersey, if you think about it, Senator, will be the first big post-presidential vote test for this young president.
New Jersey and Virginia, yes.
So, yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you, he is trying to sell in New Jersey a health care reform package. It's going to tax a lot of New Jersey residents. Many fit into that so-called upper income zone. How do you think that message is going to go down?
Again, I think if the American people figure it out, and they're beginning to, according to the polls, exactly what's going on here, they're going to overwhelmingly reject it. The impact on small business of what's being considered in the Finance Committee now is horrendous. Small business, the generator of jobs in America, and there is no cost savings. Look, what we've lost sight of, Neil, is the highest quality health care in the world is in the United States of America. The problem is the cost, the affordability, and in this measure, there's no reining in of the cost.
No.
And that's the contradiction here.
All right, well, sometimes a lot of folks look at you, Senator, and say, well, you know, the contradiction of Senator McCain is he doesn't always jump ugly on the president. One area where you agree with him is on this funding or continued funding for the F-22. You think, as the president does apparently, that they should go back and look at this because it looks wasteful. Could you explain that?
Well, the F-22, we have 187 of them. We need the Joint Strike Fighter. The proposal that was passed that we're trying to kill off extended the life of the F-22 and took money from the Joint Strike Fighter, which is also very badly needed. The F-22 has reached the end of its requirements in the view of the Secretary of Defense, a man I admire enormously. Take the money, put it into the Joint Strike Fighter so that we have a weapons system that will meet the challenges of the 21st century. Look, this is about jobs. I understand that. It's going to hurt jobs, but we should not use weapon systems as job creations. We should use weapon systems to defend this nation, and that's what this is about.
Senator, while I got you here, have you talked to Sarah Palin since she announced she's going to be...
Yes, we had
what was that conversation like?
Very pleasant. You know, I have the highest, we're very close friends, and Todd is a wonderful family. I wished her well. I knew that she was going to continue to play a major role in American political scene and in the Republican Party. I'm grateful to have known her. I'm proud of her. And the fact is, Neil, people can say otherwise. She ignited our party. I am so proud of the job that she did, and I have never seen personal attacks made on anyone's family and themselves in the way that they've been leveled against Sarah and her family.
She polls very well for 2012. You think she should run?
If she wants to, I think she should run. It's very early in the scenario, but if that's her motivation, I think she should run. I think that for me to endorse would be a mistake. I don't even know if she's running or not. But the fact is, I know she will make an enormous contribution to this country and Alaska in the future.
Senator, a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil.
Senator John McCain. Meanwhile, a lender on the brink and stocks continue on a tear. CIT darn close to being another Lehman Brothers.